Hello, Libra, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of November 30th through December 6th. And during that time, we will have a waxing gibbous moon, and that's a really good time for us to demonstrate our flexibility. So we might need to make adjustments on those things that we've been working on and just make the appropriate changes. We then move into the full moon energy on December 5th. And of course, that's a time of heightened emotions. You might be prone to feeling overwhelmed and anxious, maybe a little snappy and irritable. Or if you're like me, it's just a really good time of heightened good energy. I always feel the best with when the moon is full. Those few days around the full moon is probably my best energetic time of the month just to get things done. And I just feel really energetic and positive. So keep those moon energies in mind, however they affect you as you're going through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading at Libra, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. I don't know why I'm getting tongue-tied talking to you, but I will try to not do that again. All right, your overall message, Libra, for this particular reading: nothing will come of this situation. Okay, let's see what the Libra collective has going on. I will try to straighten out my brain and my tongue-tiedness here. It's funny that Empress is showing up on the bottom of the deck because she was at the bottom of the readings for I think the first 3 readings I did, and it was just so crazy today to have the same card show up at the bottom of the deck a few times. We'll see who shows up at the bottom of your deck this time. But anyway, as I'm shuffling and babbling, until it's probably getting a little later in the day here for me today. Anyway, my fun weekly reminder, Libra, is that you watch for synchronicities. Not only this week, of course, every week, but this is my reminder for you, is that you kind of open up your mind to think, oh, there's an animal I don't see every day. What are the attributes of that animal, and how can I apply that to a situation in my life right now? Maybe it's a song you overhear that is relevant to a situation that you have going on. It could be a conversation that you overhear, just a snippet of it. It could be repeating number patterns, just repeating things that you're seeing. So pay attention to those synchronicities. Those are the breadcrumbs that the universe offers you on your unique path to offer you a little bit of clarity, and they're there to help you. So please pay attention to those this week. All right, let's get into this reading. I will stop babbling about this and that. Libra, November 30th through December 6th, nothing will come of this situation. Your present situation is 7 of Swords. So this is our card of cunning, craftiness, theft, or hidden agenda is typically what we're taught there. So you could have something going on around you where there's some sort of hidden agenda or theft that you're just not even aware of until you're at this tarot reading. And now you're going to definitely be on the lookout, a little bit of heightened awareness about something like that might be going on, that maybe you're just not even aware that it's there. Your current situation, okay, 2-7 showing up, talking about synchronicities. There's 77 for you. So, you're in a place of kind of waiting for some seeds some seeds that you've planted to, waiting for that harvest to happen. You're kind of just watching things grow. This just means you're kind of at a place where there's not really much else you can do about that. But yeah, look up angel number 77. That might have some bearing on your situation. We'll see if more of those come out as we're going through. At the root of your situation right now is, as you're looking back and looking down, I always like to look at the way the cards are going so far. Everybody's looking more towards the past than the future. But this one is looking back at the past, definitely. I was telling you about making adjustments during the waxing gibbous time, and this is kind of what this card is about to me, is that looking back and trying to be flexible, like, okay, this thing was working, that thing's not working, and just taking that time to evaluate, so that you can make the proper adjustments as you're moving forward. What's working, what's not working, especially if you're in a slow down kind of waiting on things to come to fruition. That's a good time to do that. In your recent past is the Four of Pentacles. So coming from a place of stability, mainly in your material world, you've been hard at work. You're very stable. Things are kind of flowing. Your home life is stable. Just the things that have to do with your material world, whether it be, your where you live, where you work, your transportation, that sort of everything's kind of stable in your recent past. So that's a good thing. That's how you're coming into this new situation here. What's on your mind this week is the Knight of Cups. So some sort of action in the emotional realm. Okay. So something about this is emotional for you. And if, again, it would be if there was someone around me that was, about a hidden agenda or some sort of theft, of course, that's going to be emotional. Of course, nothing will come of this situation. So is it something that you're noticing that could happen that hasn't happened yet and nothing will come of it, but you're kind of just that awareness is there, like, oh, I didn't realize that this person was maybe capable of that, and all of a sudden that awareness is there for you. We'll see about that. What is just ahead of you this week is the Five of Cups. So a little bit of grief and sadness about maybe this situation here, that you just didn't think that person was capable of that, and guess what, they are. People show you who they are, so definitely believe them when they show their true colors. So, but of course, anytime you learn something about that, whether it be friend, family, someone close to you, that they're capable of doing something that is um that's theft, that's or some sort of hidden agenda. It is very disappointing. I understand how this guy feels, because it's just sad. It's like, really, we had to do that. So instead of being open, honest, it would be like theft. It would be like your friend, stealing money from your purse, when if your friend asked you, you would have given them 10 times that amount if they needed it, so it's that kind of situation. And of course it's going to make you feel sad. It's sad when sometimes when we learn the truth about someone and it's not great. We want it to be good truth. It's not bad, ugly things. Okay, so your advice card is the Hierophant. So the advice is to seek guidance. Maybe that's why you're at a tarot reading right now, but seek that guidance anytime, any situation that you're in. I guarantee you there's been other people that have been in that situation. So seek that out. Again, it could be you're seeking out guidance from a tarot reading. You might be looking into that world. Like, is there something to be gained by doing that? But again, do some research. Try to find a level playing ground with, again, when we have the convenience of the internet now. So anything that you're going through, someone else has already been there. Go through, kind of read people's stories, get the gist of how to manage it and deal with it if you never have had to. Again, your overall card says nothing will come of this situation, so you might just be preparing for something that isn't really going to happen. I hope that's really the ending there, that it doesn't happen, but I feel like your awareness, like your hackles are up because of it. What is beyond your control this week is the Hermit card. So many cards here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this guy facing to the left or facing directly at it. The only card that's facing towards the future here is this Knight of Cups. So something emotional. Anyway, beyond your control, to be a little within yourself, to be a little hermited, to do some inner searching, to be a little quiet. Of course, I like to say that the hermit only has enough light here to light his next step. It's not really that we're looking very far out into the future, but it's just like, what is my next step? And so you're going to go and do that inner searching and that solitude to try to figure that out for yourself when it comes to the situation. I don't think it's a fun situation. Again, maybe nothing will come of it, but you have that awareness that this person is maybe capable of that. Okay, what is your secret desire or what you're trying to avoid? Well, I hope it's your secret desire to use your inner strength as you go through this entire situation. So, yeah, I'm also seeing more repeating numbers. We'll get to that in just a second. Let me get through the end card and then we'll go through some number patterns that I'm seeing here. All right, in your outcome position, Libra, okay, is the Five of Wands. So a little bit of argument and debate about something. And I use the word argument, even though it's not always an argument, but I do feel like this is probably going to maybe lead to some words exchanged. Again, maybe nothing comes of it, but some reason your awareness is definitely up and you definitely know that something is going on here, and you're going to learn from it. Let's see what is hidden from you this week. At the bottom of the deck is the World card, which is the card of perfect balance. This is kind of the end of the road on this. I think what that tells me is that this is not, even though nothing's coming of it, it's not the end of the road. I think this debate here, this debate or argument, whatever, of course it's impassioned. I feel like this is probably going to carry over into the next week. I don't think it wraps up this week. I'm sorry to say, with that world card, I feel like that's because this is the very last card in the major arcana, and it tells me that's kind of an ending. And I don't think you're there yet. Okay, so let's, if you learn something about someone that they're capable of doing something wrong, of course you're going to be thinking, like, could they do that to me? And I would say if it's a situation where you see someone do something to someone else, and you just know that they have the potential to do that, of course you're going to ask that question, will they do that to me? Is that how that person is? Like I said, people show their real colors, their true colors. All right, so when it comes to these numbers, first we started here with the 77. I don't see another 77, but I did see 3 5s pop up. So 77. The 9 also. Here's the angel numbers I want you to look up. The 77, 555, and then also 99. I feel like you've got a lot of numbers that are popping up here in this reading, and I would certainly check into those in your situation. They may offer you more guidance as well. So, all right, let's get a final word here for Libra from the Soul Oracle deck. So even if nothing comes of this situation, A, I don't feel like it's over. And B, I do feel like you're learning something about someone. And not that, and again, I feel like you might even just be observing something that they did and you're like, can you do that to me? But you're going to use your inner strength this week for sure. All right, Soul Oracle deck says make necessary sacrifices. Interesting. Okay, so make whatever necessary sacrifices you need to, and you may need to sacrifice this person. That may be kind of the advice that's you just may need to be done. Again, people show you who they are. And if you decide, yeah, that's not for me, even if you could do that to it, even if it's not done to you, if you see that they could do this to another person, yeah, you're going to make a decision about that. All right, let's see what Libra needs to do in the way of self-care for the week. Self-care for Libra. And the card you get is risk. Take a chance. Every risk is a success. When you're in command, no, I'm sorry, when you're committed to learning and growth, take a chance. I don't know why I said when you're in command. It's like I was glancing at that and looking at something else, and that's just what my brain put together. That's not what it said. Take a chance. Every risk is a success when you're committed to learning and growth. So, if you're going to take a risk on something because you're going to learn and you're going to grow, I do feel like the situation, it is what it is. It's going to make you a little sad. It's going to make you have a little debate, maybe even not with that person, but with other people around you. I just feel like that's really the situation. But you're going to seek out some guidance and you're going to go inside to really look for the answers. And I don't think it's going to wrap up this week. So, Libra, thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use in your life this week in a positive manner. Of course, if you're comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what it is that you're going through. Did anything in here resonate with this reading? Or do you have any questions? I'd be happy to answer those for you. So also, if you like my reading style, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel, but most importantly, it'll help you find me next week where you can come back and we can see if this situation continues or if you have a completely new energy here for next week. So thanks so much, Libra, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.